Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. You've written two books that seem very heartwarming, and I'm really looking forward to getting to that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you live and how you got to the point where you wrote these books?
Well, so I was born and raised in Los Angeles, in California, and knew pretty much from the day I was born, I think, that I wanted to work in film and television. And so I went ahead and did that, and I did that for many years and loved and adored it, but loved and adored travel about as much. So in 2017, I decided that I wanted to give my life a shot abroad. So I moved to Italy, and Florence is where we started, and took my dog at the time, whose name was Cash, on a very long journey over, and he was with us. We unfortunately lost him right after the pandemic. Um, but then we spent a year in Florence, and I worked remotely, still do, for film and television in Los Angeles. And then moved to the north of Italy in Torino or Turin. And now actually we live in the Netherlands. After being in Italy and sort of falling in love with the life and everything, and then we lost Cash, we sort of fell upon adopting a dog from Naples, from the south of Italy, and that's sort of his insanely loving, crazy personality is what inspired the book, because I've had several dogs before him, but nobody's like Rexie.
Yeah, sometimes there's a special dog in our life, and I guess for you it was Cash.
All of them are special, but Cash and Rex, I think, are Rexie is definitely been the most challenging too, which I think is why um, I felt like his story provoked a difference, like a wanting to tell his story and our relationship, because it is really unique of having a dog that's from the place that you're living in when you don't really know it, and that's he's Italian. I'm the stranger in his
Oh, I
country,
see. I
you know.
see. I see. So these books are dedicated to him or about him.
They're about him. He is the lead, and they are all from his perspective. They're rhyming picture books, sort of explaining from the moment we got him. The first book is called Finding My Family, which tells the story from his POV of coming to us and sort of all of his fears. And um, he had a pretty terrible life before he came to us. He lived on a balcony in Naples and didn't have much human contact. Um, so sort of, him coming like that first day with us where he was really apprehensive about everything, and got his first ball and got his first, nap indoors, and all of that, sort of taking us through to him saying, okay, you've been nice to me. Now let me teach you about Italy. And that's sort of where we kick off the series.
Cool. Your second book was recently published, I think, in June of this year, 2023. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the first book. You want to talk about that?
Well, the first one is Finding My Family, and the one that we just published is called Buon Natale, which is him explaining what an Italian Christmas is to us, and what being in there's a boy in the book named Dylan who is concerned that maybe Santa won't be able to find him in Italy, and he's not even sure if really Santa comes to Italy. So Rex has to sort of explain that even though everything looks different and there's different customs and different foods and different everything, Christmas is the same everywhere, where people want to be with the people they love, and that's what counts.
Hmm. Charming. These are fairly short books. If I remember reading, it was about 26 pages or so. It's a rhyming book. It's for children, I
Right.
take it.
It is. It's for, I think that it's definitely something that you want to read to your child, but it's also something that young readers can start to pick up on their own. And what we really try to do too is that, I think especially in light of the world that we live in at the moment, making the world smaller is important, and
Yes.
making the connection that everybody does have a commonality. And making, you know, language something that is accessible and the culture something that people that you know about from a young age. So it was really important, I think, to throw out some Italian words and some Italian customs and some, just sort of making the world a little smaller, I
Mhm.
guess, and
Yeah.
making it a little more accessible to very, very young children.
Well, I imagine it's written in English. Is there a move towards putting it into a different language, in Italian, for instance?
Well, we do several words each book that are in Italian, and there's a glossary at the end of the book that does the definitions. And then if you go to our website at rexiewashere.com, you can hear Rexie saying the words, so you can get the pronunciation correct. But it's usually about like 5 to 10 words per book that we introduce Italian words.
Okay. So what's your audience for this, being that it's in English and that you're in Europe? Who would be buying these books?
Americans for the most part. I mean, it's, you know, and obviously Italians don't need it, and Europeans, other countries in Europe are buying it, and it makes sense. I think it's for everywhere but Italy, honestly, because it's about just learning about another place and
Mhm.
another language, and we will be doing other holidays, we will be doing other seasons, sort of exploring just in general what life is like. We're also incredibly busy travelers, and Rexie goes everywhere with us. So, we hope to do a book in Croatia that, in spring, and sort of explore, also just making Europe sort of more accessible in general.
Okay, great. So you're planning on a series with Rexy then?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we have lots and lots of ideas. So
Excellent.
we hope to continue that.
Who is we exactly?
Okay, so I have a very strange living situation, and that is I live with and moved here with a friend who has a son named Dylan, who is the main boy in the story. And we've been friends forever, but we decided that we wanted to do something different. We were both single. And so we moved to Italy together. And then now Dylan is 15 or 16, just turned 16. But he and I wrote both books together, and he is who Rexy's character refers to as his favorite person, because I'm pretty sure he is.
Excellent. Excellent. What type of dog is Rexy?
Well, we did a DNA test because, as I said, he's a bit of a street dog from Napoli, but he's German Shepherd, um, Italian Greyhound, and Jack Russell. So he's got the incredible intelligence of the Jack Russell and the German Shepherd, along with the running and energy of the Greyhound,
Wow.
and the protectiveness of the German Shepherd. So,
Wow. Cool. How's sales for you for these books so far?
the Christmas book we just went out with a few weeks ago, not even a week ago, I guess. But so we were a little slow on that. And it's also, obviously a smaller window and a smaller cell. Um, but the first book did quite well for us. I mean, it didn't set the world on fire, but we were pleased with it. We really wanted to do this to sort of have a small build, and to sort of, it is a little bit niche with people who want to travel, people who want to, know about a little bit about languages. Um, so, I don't think that we were expecting bestseller list, but we're pretty pleased.
Good, good. You mentioned a website. You want to talk about that and any other social media that you are a part of?
Yeah, well, Rexy's got his own page on Instagram and his own TikTok, which is just Rexie Was Here. And then his website, which is kind of fun. We're just starting to do subscriptions. And so basically, if your kid wants a letter for Christmas or just wants a letter in general from Rexie, we can arrange all of that. Like I said, there's also the glossary. So you can practice correct pronunciation of the Italian words, and hear a little bit of his voice. And it's just kind of a fun place to see all the books together. There's a little description about him, there's pictures of him, and then his Instagram feed is on there as well. So, we have a lot of fun with him because he is incredibly animated and photogenic. So his Instagram and TikTok are quite entertaining, if I do say so myself.
Excellent. Yeah. How many followers on Instagram have you got for him?
I mean, I think it's around 1,000. I mean, it's again, it's he's not an influencer yet, but I think we have a pretty fun following, so it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Must be a lot of fun doing what you're doing as a side project.
Yeah.
More. Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned something about more books coming down the pike. You're going to Croatia. You wanted to talk about books in the future, what some of your ideas are?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we travel a lot. We just got back from Belgium last week and are heading out again next Wednesday. So we've been very lucky and able to see a lot of Europe. So I would love to explore his adventures through the books more. I mean, we've been in the south of Italy, we've been in Croatia, we've been um, Switzerland, Austria. I mean, that we've been to most other countries. So, I would love to have him lose a ball in Paris and we go around looking, going back to the big monuments and showing people like where he could have dropped it. Like, really sharing his adventures because it is. I mean, every time you go to a new city with a dog, you have to make sure it's fun for everybody, right? And so he ends up going to crazy places and doing crazy things and sitting in, restaurants that most people will never even dream of. So it's really, um, the possibilities are really endless for future books because we can go to so many places because we have.
Right. I'm from Hungary. Any plans to go there?
I would love to go there. We had a trip planned in April of 2020,
Mm,
and you can probably guess what happened to
yeah,
that
of
trip.
course, sure. Yeah.
Um, it's a little further for us now that we're up north, but yeah, no, I mean, I want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
we we've been very, very lucky in being able to travel. It's, like some places like Estonia, I would love to go, which are a little bit further that we need to kind of plan
Yeah.
more for Hungary, Romania. But we'll get there. It's only been a few years.
Well, Europe is quite the fascinating continent. So many different countries, so many different cultures. For instance, Luxembourg and Portugal is another place I'd like to go. Have you been to
Yeah, we
either
haven't
of
been to
those?
Portugal,
Oh, you
but
haven't?
in Luxembourg, we were just there for my birthday, and I will tell you there will definitely be a book on Luxembourg because Rexie had a million adventures because the hiking is really, really extraordinary, and the formations and the city, Luxembourg City, is just stunning. I mean, it's a really special place.
How about the Riviera? We all dream of the Riviera. Have you been there?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I lived in Monaco before, and when I was in college, I was a nanny there for 6 months. So we just went back there so that Dylan and Rexy could see Monaco this past August. But yeah, I mean, we were in Nice, and then there was the Italian Riviera, which obviously was quite close to where
Yeah.
we were when we lived there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did weekends in um, at the sea all the time. I mean, Portofino and, I mean, Santa Margarita, like all of those places were definitely easy weekend getaways and very extraordinary.
Yeah. So balancing your book writing with your career, how does that work out for you?
Well, I actually wrote both books during the strike, so we'll see. um, but it's interesting because I do work in LA. Primarily people that I'm in contact with for business are in LA, so there's a 9-hour difference most of the year. So I have my mornings, and my mornings are spent with Rexy and writing about Rexy. So yeah, it actually works out pretty well. So I don't anticipate it changing much once we're all 100% back up and running after the strike.
Mhm. I'm beginning to understand that this is more than just a children's book. It's also about Europe and opening the eyes of children and even adults about, hey, this is a Europe from a dog's perspective. Am I correct in assuming that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, I don't know, I started traveling like late high school, early college. Um, and it really changed me. And I think that had if everybody had that opportunity, and even at a younger age, I think the world would be a little bit of a nicer place,
I
you
agree.
know? I mean, I think that if there was, I said earlier, making the world smaller, but really having an appreciation for other cultures and other languages and other ways of life is important. And Italy's not that foreign. It's not, it's, I mean, people can find it on a map, and it's not the food and stuff. But it's just the idea that this is that you can open your mind to understanding how other people live and appreciate that and want to explore that. And I think the younger you can do that, just the better off we all are.
Yeah. How are you with languages? Most people in Europe, or you'll always find people speaking English.
Yeah.
But how are you
Um,
for languages?
well, I spoke French pretty early in life. And like I said, I lived in Monaco and I lived in Paris for a bit. So I'm pretty conversational with French. I'm pretty conversational, some people might disagree, in Italian. Dutch is a tough one. But I'm struggling and trying. So hopefully we'll add that to the list before too long.
If you think Dutch is tough, wait till you go to Hungary. There's a strange language.
Yeah, I'm much better with the romantic languages than even German. I can understand some of it, but I can never find the words or make the right sounds.
Let's talk about the illustrations.
So we met Giuseppe a few years ago, and he had done quite a bit of anime drawings. And so we started talking to him about this, and he did up a little sketch of Rexie, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's exactly who it is. And he's from Naples. He's from where Rex came from. And it was just sort of like the perfect match. This is, as I said, he got his first ball the first night that he was with us. So there he is playing with his ball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is his first nap, or his first night sleeping on a non-balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And then here is our Bon Natale, the current Christmas book. And then I don't know if you know panettone. Do you know the Italian cake panettone?
No, I
Well,
don't.
Rexie's a fan.
Oh, I'm sure I would be too. That's fantastic.
So it's just, I mean, you can see it's just a very sweet version of a dog that's mostly sweet all the time.
Wonderful. I'm sure he's a happy dog now.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Good, good. Well, Lisa, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'll tell you what, you write more books, you contact me, we'll get you back on here and we'll talk about your books some more.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Take care now.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. And before you go, if you like what I do here on Tell Me About Your Book, then consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and don't forget to ring that bell for future notifications. You can even leave a comment. All of that really helps in recommending this channel to a larger audience. And if you are an author, I would love to speak with you about your book. Until next time, keep on writing and be kind to one another.